Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. It is Scott Ferguson, and I've been waiting since December to get my really good friend Tracy Lamourie from Lamourie Media on to Time to Shine Today. She's so generous to carve out a good 30 minutes of her time to drop some serious knowledge nuggets on you. She has been featured in so many media outlets. Just look in the show notes and you're going to see everywhere she's been featured. But Tracy is an international award-winning publicist, the founder and managing director of Lamourie Media, and the author of the upcoming book, Get Repped, Build Your Brand with Effective Public and Media Relations. And Tracy, thank you so much for coming on Time to Shine Today. Please introduce yourself to the Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is red.
Red, and you're wearing it.
Yeah. My hair, my glasses.
Yeah. Why is it red, love? Why is it red?
Why? It came about 2 years ago. I used to be, a little goth kid. I was all dressed in black. And,
yeah.
My hair was bright red. And somehow, I'm 50 now. Somehow 2 or 3 years ago, it segued to from the hair down. So it's like the nails and the whole, and now it's my signature. I'm a publicist and people know when I'm coming, they know me. And also it's a power color. It's a look at me power color.
It is. I almost think you're kind of a little bit of a purple. I think you got some blue in you. In media, you have to kind of listen. It looks like you had a purple lanyard on there somewhere. So but red is good. Red is good.
A lanyard, this is the key to my office.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's get in a little bit of the origin story of you and then kind of work our way up and how you started Tracy Lamourie and just affecting awesomely so many people.
So as a young person, I was in sales and marketing and I was an activist. And I ended up, very long story short, I ended up learning how to write a press release in advocacy work for nonprofit advocacy work I was doing actually regarding an innocent man on death row. It was a 20-year campaign and he ended up being freed on factual innocence in 2017. So that long journey that lasted from when I was 28, my husband and myself, we started that campaign, we were 28, all the way up to when I was 47, when he was ultimately released. So when I was 41, it suddenly occurred to me, wait a minute, I've developed skills doing that, media skills that I could probably monetize. And I started freelancing, and then I started my company for 5 years as a general partnership. And during COVID, things have been going so well, we upscaled and we incorporated, and so the rest is history. Now I'm founding director, manager, blah, 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 founder, all that fun stuff. And that would never have been my trajectory. I didn't grow up learning how to build a business or anything, but it's going really well. So I'm glad I fell into it.
It is awesome what you're doing here. And it's you and Dave, correct? That work together? Awesome. Yeah. And you guys make such a cute couple. If you look on her website, LamourieMedia.com. Don't go there now. But listen to her to this awesome. It'll be in the show notes. So Tracy, if I'm out at a networking event, which we're fortunately allowed to do here in South Florida, and I'm pressing some flesh, meeting some people, of course, with my mask on, but what kind of things am I hearing that would make them a good prospect, connection, or referral to Lamourie Media?
In terms of when you're talking to people, well, really, I serve people across industries, no lie. And, people hear publicists, they think about celebrities, and I certainly work with celebrities and filmmakers and authors and public speakers and all those creatives. Mm-hmm. But about the other half of my business is entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, literally across industries. So everything from, I have a luxury real estate agent, I have a personal chef, I have a psychologist, I have a forensics expert. So no matter what you're an expert in, I find opportunities to build your thought leadership, to get you quoted in newspaper and mainstream media and, everything, anything to do with building your public image. And I like to say I teach entrepreneurs and executives and regular people who have a message, how to basically catapult themselves to the top of any industry using media and publicity opportunities.
So, wow, that's awesome. So what do you think makes a great, we'll just call it PR. What do you think makes a good PR rep then?
Well, passion. If you're looking for a publicist, you definitely want to make sure they understand your project. They should be excited about your project. They should be the audience for your project in some ways. Though we're generalists, we can figure anything out. You want someone who's like, oh yeah, because they're going to understand your vision and your audience and how to get that message to your audience. So that's number one. And then number two, of course, you're looking for the the skills and all that kind of thing. But it's not a matter of having to necessarily needing all kinds of media connections in a particular city. For example, I work literally internationally, and I often work in cities I've never worked in before. Any city in the any English speaking media I can deal with. It doesn't matter if they've heard of me or I've heard of them. It's a matter of the way that you approach them, and then the way that you do the messaging.
So if you're starting to bring somebody on and you're in your discovery period with them, is there any secret sauce that you can help them find that blind spot, what they're looking, where you can provide the skills to help level them up and catapult?
Everybody's different. Sometimes it's literally we're starting with building their confidence to realize that they are an expert, and that sounds like an easy thing, but actually it is, because people often think right of themselves as, oh, I'm just a whatever, and the people they see in the media or on the award shows or whatever are elevated or different. They're not. You are an expert, no matter if you clean toilets for a living or you're whatever it is that you do. You're a lawn expert. And it's funny because I use lawn care often as an example. And then yesterday, randomly, I literally saw 2 media looking for lawn care experts. So literally, no matter what it is that you do, there are media, but you have a story, you have a personal story, you have an expertise that we don't have, and there are things that we that we don't know.
Sure.
That maybe on a bigger issue because of that thing that you have. So yeah, understanding yourself as an expert, obviously, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you know you're an expert because you take people's money for what you do, right? So take with some confidence, and you understand that you have every reason to be the one being quoted. And then after that, there's little things like understanding the pitch and understanding the difference between advertorial and editorial, which is huge, whether you're pitching a podcaster or Oprah, to understand their audience, because they're not
their avatar.
Absolutely. Free advertising, right? Yeah, understand who their audience is.
Yeah.
And you're there to give them value.
Okay.
Not asking for a free, for a space.
Okay, so let's stay within the discovery time here, Tracy. When you're talking to the person who's the expert and they want to level up and get catapulted, like you say, I'm going to use that word a lot with you, catapult, because I love it. Is there any good question that maybe you wish they would ask you but never do?
Oh, that's a good question.
We're time to shine.
But I mean, if I was gonna, nobody ever asked really. Yeah, no, I can't. There's not really one question. Yeah, that's a hard question for me to answer you. But what I wish they would do, or what I wish is, well, actually, let me turn around a bit. It's more because a lot of people, I'm educating them on what we're doing, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, I say 80% of them have a blind spot about thinking of themselves as experts.
Yes.
So, they really do, and about themselves in the media. I would say that, that's a hard question to answer. I don't know. It's more about
basically, I would probably ask you, what do I need to do to feel like what you're going to do for me is going to work? You know what I'm saying? Because again, I have a PR rep and I was flying blind so much. I'm like, dude, what do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? So nobody said to me, said to me, he said, be authentic and we'll take care of the rest. That's what he said. I was like, okay, that's perfect.
When I'm onboarding someone, for example, I just want to know who you are. So
send
me the stuff you're used to. I know you already know. You can send me your bio and your links and your socials and all that. But then I also want to know. I want an hour-long conversation about who you are, Scott, because there might be something you're not thinking of. You come to me to promote, your business selling, cleaning products, right? And just happened. But but that's not I don't care about the sale of the cleaning product. That's your care. What I care about is getting you in front of news, getting you in front of media, building your personal credibility so that whatever comes out of your mouth, so that when you sell things, it works. You know what I mean? So that's my job, is to get, build up your credibility.
So I want to hear maybe a nightmare story where you're building up someone's credibility. Has you ever dealt with anybody while you're building them up that they actually are kind of a douchebag and you had to actually flip the script on the fly?
Yeah, I ended up leaving. I walk. I don't like spin. I like genuine people and that I can like
Right.
happily pass on their message because they're doing awesome things. But
Right.
yeah, this year was a challenging year too. Like people went a little nuts.
No way.
last
Really?
year, whether it was COVID or whether it was isolation or I don't
Sure.
know what. But there's some people who literally lost their like.
Right.
And so yeah, when I deal with, and I deal with a lot of different personalities across industries and across, and so yeah, there was a couple situations where thankfully we were coming to the end of our contract.
Uh-huh.
By the time I saw the problematic,
Yeah.
things arising that we hadn't seen signs of before. And in that case, I mean, normally like I will be happy to walk away from a contract if it
Good for
doesn't
you.
resonate with me
Good
because
for
of
you.
that genuine, like it's really important to me to stay heart-centered and the messaging that we can actually get behind, right?
Yes.
So but in a situation where maybe somebody was making it, it's more so less that they're doing something wrong.
Sure.
Sometimes people just go the wrong way, like or they
Right.
don't, they're emotional, they had a hard time, maybe their personal emotional stuff
Right.
is bleeding all over their Facebook page
Yeah.
after they built as something I've seen, after I, like in some of this case, after I kind of disconnected from them. But
Sure.
somebody built a great profile and then they start to lose it and everyone's watching them now.
Right.
And then now they're like, in 2 minutes, you can delete all the 20 years of work you did.
Right. You can. So Tracy, we're the same age. So if you remember the movie Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Okay. Let's go back to the 20-year-old Tracy Lamourie. I don't know if it's Lamourie then. Let's go back to 20-year-old Tracy.
It was Tracy Lamourie.
Okay.
I always had 15.
Okay. What kind of knowledge nuggets would you drop on her to maybe help her level up, blast through, shorten that learning curve a little bit?
Oh man, absolutely. I would slap her and be like, seriously, like pay attention, because I don't know why it took me till 41 to think, hey, gee, why don't I make a business instead of just being like a telemarketer or being a whatever low level. Meanwhile, I was doing all these epic things in my life, but when it came to the 9 to 5, I just apply for the low income job because I don't have an education. So I want to say, it doesn't matter. Like all that faith that you have in yourself that you can change the world, that faith that you have in yourself as an activist, realize, what, you can do this, you can actually make some money too. You don't have to be necessarily, I was in that, rich people with money are bad because I'm doing the good things and they're doing that business bad thing.
Right.
You don't say that out loud, but that's the worldview that a lot of people have, right?
Right.
I wish I'd known earlier, no, like make some money because you can be way more effective at. If I had the money and the platforms I have now, imagine what I could have done if I was able to do all that stuff as a penniless activist.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So then, Tracy, how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date on that tombstone. How do you want Tracy's dash remembered?
Yeah, well, I just, I'm happy at 51 looking back with everything. I'm really thrilled with my trajectory. I'm happy with my family. And, I don't think it's it's epic going back, that I spent my 30s helping to free an innocent man from death row. I'm thankful that, that happened. So I want to be remembered, I guess, as somebody who wasn't afraid, and that's my inspiration. I'm not afraid to get out there, put yourself out there. It's really success in everything,
and
whether
it's never too late. Right?
Exactly.
Right. I mean, 41.
International award-winning publicist. I never should have been able to even access this career. VIP parties.
Sure.
And travel in 2019 to nine different trips to 5 different countries on 4 continents, all paid.
Right.
Why? Because what? So yeah. Don't second guess yourself in terms of, we literally put limits on ourselves. That's a fact.
Yes.
Even if you're applying for a job, you might be 90%, you qualify for everything in it, but there's that one little thing you don't have. So you say, oh, I'm not going to apply, not realizing that, there is no perfect candidate. You could be the most perfect candidate.
Right. So let me ask you this then, like, do you still struggle, and don't lie to me on this, do you ever still struggle with imposter syndrome? Because you found your stride at 41. Okay. And I'm sure going to those VIP events and stuff, you fell out of place. I mean, you can't, I know I did. Okay. Like, how did you deal with getting past the imposter syndrome and really leveling up to being an authentic self, knowing that you actually fit in?
Yeah, I think just more like very early on, like when I started freelancing as a publicist, and one of my first clients was, Angela Sadler Williamson, who's a cousin of Rosa Parks, and
Okay.
and she was doing a film, Rosa Parks, about my life with Rosie, the next 30 years, and what Rosa Parks did. Anyway, so she became one of my first clients, and that was really successful. And she put me in the film, thanking me and all that. So that level of that kind of a, very
Dude,
early
that's
on
awesome. That's
as a
awesome.
freelancer, right? I'm like, oh my God, I guess I'm really in the game. So like
Yeah.
before I was doing this successfully. So the thing is, I'd already been like hugely successful. We were on CNN, MSNBC, Court TV as 28-year-old activists.
Wow.
That's why I realized, wait, that was from my messaging. We weren't lawyers. We had no reason to be on. And yet we were taken seriously and being interviewed. And so, and then it took another 10 years before I realized that.
Wow.
That kind of gave me the confidence to realize, well, wait, it was like, when I suddenly thought about doing it professionally, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I've been doing it.
I love it.
Once I got Angela Sadler Williamson and the client said, oh, I'll pay you money to do it. So now it's professional as opposed to activist at that level. And I'm like, whoa, I guess now I'm in the game. So I never really had a, oh, I don't belong here moment.
Okay.
By the time it happened that I was at those parties,
okay.
I was like, I guess look at me. I've been on, because we'd already, because I
gotcha. Okay.
Without thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Got it.
Without trying to build that thing, I was already there. So
absolutely. So you enjoyed the journey and leveled up on the journey. So what do you think people misunderstand about you the most, Tracy?
I don't know. I'm out there, like, so I'm really genuine. So I'm pretty much, what you see is what you get, whether it's in a podcast or you meet me or, you look at my socials. So I feel like I'm pretty well understood. But maybe the other way. I mean, maybe people think it's too easy. I make it look too easy sometimes.
There's work, baby. They'll see the grind and the reps you put in. That's awesome.
Like 18 hours a day of this day. All this, a lot of hard work.
Absolutely. So let's take our cell phone out. Let's take our tablets out, our computers out. Let's take anything electronic out of this question. What are 3 things that Tracy can't live without?
Oh, and it's things, not family or people or anything, right?
It can be people, places, or things. It can be anything.
People, definitely family, number one. Right?
Okay.
That's my wind beneath my wings, and my motivation and all that. Books and magazines. I'm a reader. Since I'm 10 years old, I'm not without a book and a magazine in my purse. I never have time. If I have a minute on the toilet, I'm reading.
There you go.
And I don't know about can't live without, but if I had it in my tool belt of things that make me particularly happy in the day that I prefer not to live without, I would put, and I don't know if this is okay to say because I don't think you're a legal state in Florida.
You're fine.
Canada is legal state to state, is Canada-wide is cannabis legal. And I'm a long-term medical cannabis advocate.
Well, we're legal. Trust me. I put myself to sleep with it. So I get it. I feel you. I
wasn't sure if Florida was okay.
Oh yeah. We're good. We're good here.
Definitely cannabis is in my tool belt. I like to joke at midnight saying fueled by fine cannabis.
I love it. I love it. And I'm glad you're being transparent and real with that too, Tracy.
Like I appreciate genuine and everything, right?
I love it. I love it.
Other states or if they have state.
Okay. Yep. I get it. Yep. I appreciate you being genuine and transparent. And squad, we're going to level things down here just a little bit with my really good friend, Tracy, just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. And hey, we're back with my really good friend, Tracy Lamourie. And Tracy, we're going to get into our leveling up lightning round. And you and I could talk 15, 20 minutes, an hour on this. You're going to give me an answer on each one of these questions in 5 seconds with no explanation. I mean, no explanation, because I'll just read the next question. You ready? Let's rock and roll. Ready to level up, my friend?
I'll try.
All right, let's go, Tracy. What is the best leveling up advice Tracy's ever received?
Don't be afraid.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Reading.
I get a lot of knowledge. Me too. Other than your own website, and of course, timetoshinetoday.com, my website, and your website is LamourieMedia.com. What other website do you like to go to level up?
Helpareporter.net.
Beautiful. Now you see me, you're like, man, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums. What book are you handing me to read?
Oh, what book? Man's Search for Meaning.
Love it. Victor, baby, Victor.
There you go.
What is your most commonly used emoji?
Happy face.
There you go. Now, don't lie to me on this one, my love. But if you could stay one age physically for the rest of your life, keep the knowledge you've garnered and continue to gain knowledge physically, what age would you stay for the rest of your life?
I would have to say 49. I'm 51 now.
Okay.
40, like I had, yeah, 49.
Okay. Your favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
Death penalty action.
Go ahead, elaborate on that one a little bit. Who is it?
Death penalty action. They do all kinds of work with the federal death penalty stateside and innocent on death row and all kinds of stuff. They're kind of the overseeing. Okay.
Very good. Thank you for doing that. And this one you can elaborate a little bit more on. But what is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
60s. John Lennon is the single greatest influence of my life.
All right, I love it. Dude, there's so much awesome wisdom knowledge nuggets that he drops, man. That's awesome. So Tracy, how can we find you, my love?
LamourieMedia.com or Tracy Lamourie on LinkedIn or Facebook, Tracy Lamourie PR Media on Instagram, and LamourieMedia.com. So I'm all over. If you spell my name right, I'm all over the socials.
Yeah, and I'm going to put that in the show notes. And Lamourie is Lamourie media.com. That will be in the show notes. You have to visit it. You can see all the accolades that my really good friend Tracy has and how in the proofs in the pudding. So Tracy, do me one favor and leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
This is my favorite. It's not a business one, but it could be.
No, it doesn't have to be.
We didn't get this far to only get this far. And I talk about that a lot. So whether you're doing really, really well and you still have goals and you want to keep going, you didn't get that far and it just stops. So keep going. Even more importantly, if you wanted to jump off a bridge yesterday, but you didn't, and everybody's an asshole and things are really rough because a lot of people are having a hard time.
Right.
You didn't get this far to only get this far.
I love you for saying that.
Keep
that
going.
Is amazing. You know, in Squad, we just got treated to, you know, I had to take a minute to see how I was going to interview Tracy because I don't have too many PR reps on, especially with the accolades that she has. You know, she helped an innocent man get released, you know, and she learned kind of press releases on her own. And she had such a passion for saving this man's life. And in 2017, he was able to be released and back into society. And that's because of my good friend, the beautiful Tracy Lamourie. You know, she wants to build your leadership. She wants to build your leadership so you can get quoted in the media. And I love her word catapult to the top of your niche, top of your business. She will be able to find out and understand your audience. She's so passionate. She's going to utilize the skills you have to get noticed and become the expert, even upon the expert in your niche. And she wants you to remember you are the expert. So use whoever you use a PR rep, if you don't have one, let me make a warm introduction to Tracy to catapult your business. She will get you exposed with personal credibility. She would remind herself and wants to remind you to be present, to be mindful, to pay attention. And like we say here at Time to Shine today from my good friend Leah Woodford, get your asking gear. If you don't know something, ask for the help. There are people there that will help you level up. And like my good friend here, Tracy said, use your gifts. You know, she's going to be remembered as someone that wasn't afraid, that stopped second guessing and just leveled up. And remember this, take this with you. If anything else, you did not get this far just to get this far. Don't stop. Progress. And that's what my good friend Tracy Lamourie does. She levels up her health. She levels up her wealth. She's humble. Yes, she's hungry. She's earned her varsity letter here at Time to Shine today, Varsity Squad. Thank you so much, my love, for coming on. This was just fantastic.
Thank you so much. I had a ton of fun and what amazing questions.
Yay! Mwah. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, love. All right. That was awesome. You were freaking really good, man.
We kept it within, usually I go off. We kept it within the 11:30. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, got just a few things to do with you, sweetie. I'm going to drop something into the chat here. I'm going to have you read it, and then I'm going to hit record. I start off all of my interviews with my guest voice, okay, which I started split testing this and found out that if my guest comes on, they listen for like 67% of the interview, sometimes 100%. So I'm going to hit record here and I need you to read it with enthusiasm. Like, hey, this is Tracy Lamourie with Lamourie Media. And if you really want to learn out, like, just get ready to rock and roll with it. I'm just going to hit record now and then shut up. And oops, we're going to